What's up, party people? Welcome back to the Pop Quiz Effect. Now, for all the flack and criticism that Black Ops 6 receives, which is somewhat deserved for the most part, every once in a while, Call of Duty and Activision do find a way to refresh their game by adding a brand new or different kind of game mode that gives a refreshing take on Call of Duty. Whether it was Nazi Zombies that was added to Call of Duty World at War, or whether it was the 4v4 face-off maps that were added to Modern Warfare 3, or even Warzone that was added to Modern Warfare 2019. Every once in a while, Call of Duty does give a refreshing take on how the game is played, or it adds a different game mode like the Overdrive game mode that they added in this Black Ops 6, which if you haven't gotten a chance to play yet, definitely get a chance to play Overdrive. In my opinion, it's one of the best game modes that's in Call of Duty right now. But in Black Ops 6, currently right now, outside of Warzone, you have two different kind of multiplayer maps. You have your normal multiplayer maps like Nuketown and Babylon, where you're able to use skill streaks or kill streaks, which have been the core of Call of Duty. But in addition to those maps, you have different maps that have been designed for what I believe is how Call of Duty is supposed to be played. Those maps are called strike maps. These are specifically smaller design maps designed for fast-paced player engagement gameplay, which in my opinion is the core of Call of Duty and how Call of Duty should be played. So in this video, I'm going to give my top 3 reasons why strike maps are the best maps to play in Black Ops 6, with the number 3 reason being a reason you may not be thinking or would even believe is true, but stick around and I'll explain it later on in the video. So grab your number 2 pencils, lock in, class is in session. Now, one of the first reasons why, in my opinion, strike maps are the best maps to play in Call of Duty, simply put, they're small in design, basically small maps. The reason why we love maps like Nuketown, Rust, Shipment, Shoot House, even Das Haus, is because those maps are designed not only for fast-paced gameplay, but for you to not have to wait long to run into any type of opponent. The maps are really small. It's only going to take a couple of seconds for you to run into anybody who's either near their spawn or coming out of their spawn. The way that this game moves and how not only how fast it moves and how fast it takes for you to kill somebody, basically the time to kill, in my opinion, does not work good with does not work good with big or even medium-sized maps. And again, this is just in my opinion. Take Grind, for example. Grind is one of my favorite maps from Black Ops 2. But in this Call of Duty, if you're playing 6v6, it doesn't play well.
This isn't going well.
Just based on the fact that how it's not how quickly you move in a sense, because that was one of my notes. It's just because of the skill-based matchmaking and the time to kill being very short, it makes it really difficult to obtain worthwhile kill streaks if you're playing a 6v6 match when everybody in the lobby is as good as each other. When I first started playing this Call of Duty during the beta, I noticed that there were maps on here like Pit and Gala, which I didn't realize were non-kill streak maps at the time, which that actually takes some time to getting used to, not having or playing with kill streaks, but that's actually not a bad thing. So if you stick around until the end of the video, I will explain at the end of the video why, again, that is actually not a bad thing, why that's actually a good thing. So the more and more I played these maps, the more I actually started liking these maps, just based on they remind me of the traditional smaller maps from older Call of Duties.
Memories.
Memory.
So the older maps from Call of Duties, again, like Shipment, like Shoot House, like Das Haus. So basically, traditional 3-lane maps have always been a core part of Call of Duty, or even Call of Duty map design. Even newer maps like Racket, Lifeline, and Bullet, even Bullet in my opinion, complement the way that the current game is supposed to be played, just based on the fact that the maps are small in size. Now, my number 2 reason why the strike maps in this Black Ops 6 are the best way to play, or basically are the best maps to play. Basically, it encourages player engagement. Because again, in my opinion, Call of Duty was never supposed to be played as a strategic game. even SOCOM, U.S. Navy SEALs, for all my people who played SOCOM back in the day, back in its heyday on PlayStation 2, even PS3 with Combined Assault. SOCOM was not a game where you ran and hid and waited for people to come to you. There were some maps that were like that were pretty big in its design. But even if you had to respawn on the other side of the map, the action was fast-paced. I remember playing SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs years before Call of Duty came out and used to have a shitload of fun playing that game at my neighbor's house because him and his buddies were like A-level experts at the game.
He's an expert, sir.
But even in that game, there were small maps that encourage player engagement, which again is my number 2 reason why the strike maps are the best maps to play, because you don't have to wait long to look for somebody. Somebody is going to come to you. You do not have to run around the map for a minute or so waiting to find somebody. You can almost get, if there were kill streaks, you could sometimes get a kill streak within 10 seconds of the match starting. And that reminds me of older Call of Duty maps. So now, again, no disrespect to people who like playing Warzone or who like playing big maps with kill streaks. If you like those kind of maps, shout outs to you, because again, everybody in the community, you know, in my opinion, needs to have something that keeps this game going with the player count dwindling. We want to have as many people playing this game as possible. But no disrespect to you all, but strike map players and OG Call of Duty players like myself, we don't have time to be waiting 30 seconds to a minute searching for an enemy who is just gonna kill us because they were sitting in the corner because they were scared of their own shadow. Like, we're not with that. No matter the strike map, there's no waiting for an enemy to find you or vice versa. Within literally seconds of the game starting, you're like day-to-day working security for Holy Moly Donut Shop.
Bingo! I got action.
Like, no searching, no wasted time, and the action is fast-paced and chaotic from start to finish, which to me is what makes Call of Duty Call of Duty. These maps sometimes give you no time to think, which is exactly how I want to play Call of Duty. Like, for example, look at this. Look at the best play. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but look at this. Bang, 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 bang. No time to think. Somebody pops around the corner, have to drop shot and switch guns. Somebody else pops around the corner, have to get up to drop shot down. I don't want to have to be worrying about, oh, what do I do here? I want to instinctively be able to move and progress throughout the maps. So I'm glad I was actually able to stop right there and give that as an example. So again, if you're thinking, you're dying. So again, before I continue, before I get on to reason 3 why strike maps are the best maps in Call of Duty, again, I just want to take the time out to thank any and all of my, you know, friends and family and close people for the support I've been getting and getting this channel launched. I'm only a few videos in and just been working on this content and getting you out, and it has been an exciting experience and process in itself, and really looking forward to keeping it pushing and building this channel to not only to be as big as it can be, but also provide the slightest, even if it is a slight, even if it is the slightest contribution to the Call of Duty community as a whole. So with that being said, so you don't miss out on any of my videos or live streams, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I'm going to try to upload about 4 videos a week with live streams Monday through Saturday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So don't miss out whenever class is in session. Now, my number 1 reason why strike maps in Black Ops 6 are the best maps to play: there's no kill streaks. Kill streaks have been disabled. So you're probably thinking like, what?
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 That's why strike maps are the best? Yes. There's no kill streaks. Now, yes, kill streaks have been a core or essential part of Call of Duty. So you're probably thinking, so if that's the case, Quiz, how are maps with kill streaks, without kill streaks, better than the maps with kill streaks if kill streaks are an essential part of Call of Duty? So, I'll explain. Yes, kill streaks are a core part of Call of Duty. That was the fun and addicting part about getting, started when I first started playing Call of Duty. But with the skill-based matchmaking algorithm being so heavy, this is just my experience, and this is what happens to me. You'll play about 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 matches, and the highest kill streak you'll call is a helicopter because everybody in the lobby is so even Stevens. In Black Ops 6, it takes 600 points to get a radar. A radar, that's 6 kills, which is double the kills you needed to get in the first Modern Warfare. So in other words, and this is just again in my opinion, the juice is not worth the squeeze. The strike maps in Black Ops 6 allow you to focus on the objective, getting kills, and not having to worry about anything else. And once you've played the strike maps for so long, you really don't notice the fact that you're not calling kill streaks because your mind is so focused on the objective at hand. You also don't have to worry about taking down or shooting down score streaks, which can become an issue depending on how many score streaks you have to shoot down in every match. And not every player takes the time to shoot down score streaks, which can become frustrating in itself.
Nice to get some help.
No help here.
Now, as a side note, another hidden gem of score streaks being disabled on strike maps is you can now enter a lobby after a match has already started and not have to worry about ending up on a team that's losing, that is getting bombarded with kill streaks. Once somebody calls a kill streak nowadays, it tilts the favor of the match to that team so much that half the team rage quits from the lobby. And while on maps like Nuketown and Babylon, you find yourself getting spawn trapped by score streaks and incoming enemy fire, and ain't nobody got time for that. Not saying you don't get spawn trapped in some of the strike maps like Lifeline or Gala, but since you're not overwhelmed and bombarded with score streaks at the same time, if you have teammates that know what they're doing, you can mount a strategic comeback from being halfway down in a domination team deathmatch or kill confirm game, which makes joining a lobby mid-match not as bad as it used to. Now when you join a lobby mid-match, you're more inclined to stay if the score is close because you can actually make a difference in the match without worrying about kill streaks coming from the other team. But that's pretty much all the notes I had about strike maps. Again, this is just my 2 cents. This is just my opinion. I know there's others that feel like this because, you know, when you go to play face-off, endurance face-off, there's a lot of people in those lobbies who play these strike maps. So, again, this is just my opinion. If you like Warzone and big maps, again, everybody has to have something that keeps them playing Call of Duty. But, again, this is just my opinion. I really enjoy the strike maps over regular score streaks, just specifically for this Call of Duty. Hopefully, going forward, Microsoft, Activision, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch design more maps, design more strike maps, because, you know, again, they are being played by the community. But that's just my opinion. You know, let me know what you think. You know, tell me what you feel about the strike maps. Which strike maps are your favorite? Which ones are the worst? Do you think they should have strike maps going forward? Because I sure hope so. But that's all the time I have. If you like the video, please do me, myself, and I a favor. And He-Man Hulk, smash that like button. Parking lot your comments in the comment section. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you're always aware of when class is in session. This is the Pop Quiz Effect. Class dismissed.
Bingo. Got more action.